And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of the Hypnotic Helmets.
All is peaceful throughout the universe this night until a mysterious spaceship suddenly speeds towards the planet Earth. Inside, Black Patch the Pirate and the wicked Black Knight listen as Bruto, the evil black robot, explains his plan. His terrible plan to destroy Colonel Bleep.
Placed under a hypnotic spell, Squeak and Scratch, Bleep's trusted space deputies, will become my helpless slaves.
Hooray!
Under my direction, his beloved friends will destroy the spaceman forever.
Hooray!
We shall at last rule the universe.
Hooray! Hooray! Hooray!
Unseen, the spaceship streaks to a stop in a heavy cloud directly over Bleep's island base. Quickly, the black robot drops 2 mysterious packages through the entrance hatch of the island's plastic dome. One for Squeak, one for Scratch. From
A friend.
the next morning, when Bleep speeds off on a moon patrol, the puppet and caveman discover the gifts. 2 gleaming space helmets with their names in sparkling gold. But wait! Listen to that strange sound coming from each helmet. Sizzling Saturn! It's the very same ticking sound that comes from the mechanical brain of Bruto himself. Hold on, fellas! Don't use those helmets! It's too late! The helmets are locked in place. At once, the ticking sound grows louder, lulling the deputies into a deep, hypnosonic trance.
Aha, my friends! You are now in my power!
Great galaxies! The space deputies are helpless slaves of the wicked Bruto!
Attention, slaves! There's work to be done. We must prepare a welcome for Colonel Bleep.
Deep in their hypnotic trance, Bleep's loyal deputies carefully follow the orders of the wicked black robot.
Fetch 4 of the Colonel's most powerful space missiles.
Little Squeak opens the armored panel of Bleep's secret weapons vault. Scratch removes 4 highly explosive space torpedoes.
Aim each missile straight for the island entrance hatch. The spaceman will never know what hit him.
Jumping Jupiter! The trap is set, and here comes Colonel Bleep, home from his moon patrol. Oh no! He's heading straight for the black robot's deadly ambush.
Stand by to fire torpedoes.
Stop, Bleep! Stop before it's too late! He did! His delicate signal antenna has picked up the strange ticking sound from the cloud above. Bleep would know that sound anywhere. It's the noise of Bruto, the evil black robot. Instantly, the Colonel is alerted for trouble. Bruto screams to his waiting slaves.
Fire torpedoes!
In the nick of time, Bleep dodges the onrushing missile barrage. Then uses his atomic energy to drive the torpedoes straight into the dark cloud above. The very cloud which conceals the black robot and his wicked companions. And so, Bruto's hypnosonic power over Squeak and Scratch was broken, and they were once again Bleep's loyal space deputies and trusted friends.
And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of the Ingenious Invention.
Squeak the puppet and Scratch the caveman were ready to try their latest invention. The world's first and only snow machine. Yes, with this ingenious homemade contraption, the two inventors hope to make it actually snow on tropical 00 Island. Colonel Bleep chuckled silently as he watched his friends proudly prepare for the initial test of their marvelous new machine. While Scratch pumped with all his might, little Squeak crossed his fingers for luck and pushed the magic button. The machine worked fine, except instead of snow, down came a cloud of thick black smoke. The inventors agreed a few small changes would be required to make it snow. Bleep was sorry he couldn't wait to see the results of their second try, but it was already blast-off time for his morning space patrol. And so, wishing his friends good luck, the spaceman sped off on his tour of duty. But only moments later, high above the Earth, the colonel screeched to a halt to listen to a strange space signal. There it was again. 3 short blips, 3 long bleeps, and 3 more blips. This was an urgent SOS. Someone nearby was calling for help. But where was it coming from? And who could it be? Then Bleep spotted a ball-like object racing through space at tremendous speed. This was another test satellite from the planet Earth. And someone or something was calling for help from inside this man-made moon. Meanwhile, back on 00 Island, Squeak and Scratch continued to test their homemade snow machine. Down came a thundering torrent of rain. Then, a shower of giant hailstones. But no snow. Still, the puppet and caveman would not give up. And in desperation, Scratch tossed a box of soap flakes into the contraption. For after all, to a caveman, soap flakes and snowflakes sound and look very much alike. Now when Scratch pumped the handle and Squeak pushed the button, nothing came out at all except hundreds of giant bubbles, which drifted up through the dome of their island home. At about the same time, Colonel Bleep sprang open the hatch of the Earth satellite. And to his surprise, out popped a dozen puppy dogs and a dozen kittens. These were the frightened passengers who signaled for help. For unless Bleep could save them, they were doomed to spend the rest of their lives speeding through space. But how could the spaceman possibly get so many dogs and cats safely back to Earth? Then Bleep saw them. Dozens of beautiful floating bubbles from the snow machine. Here was a chance not only to save the animals, but to play a wonderful trick on the great inventors. Quickly, the spaceman popped the dogs and cats into the huge bubbles, which, like Bleep's own space helmet, would protect them on the journey back to Earth. And so it was that Squeak and Scratch were amazed to see the bubbles floating back to 00 Island, each carrying a tiny pup or kitten inside. Yes, this was a great day for the inventor, for although the snow machine did not make it snow, it did make it rain cats and dogs.
And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of
The Invisible Gorilla. Just imagine coconut pie every single day. It all began when Colonel Bleep discovered a secret way to make a powerful rocket fuel from coconut milk. And every nut the Colonel drained for milk also contained the makings for a scrumptious pie for Squeak and Scratch. Jug after jug of fresh coconut flight fuel now lined the shelves of Bleep's laboratory. And with 00 Island's big supply of coconuts, the Colonel was sure his space scooter squadron would never be grounded for lack of this super fuel. But unknown to Bleep, the wicked Dr. Destructo had somehow learned of the Colonel's discovery. Already, the evil doctor has thought up a plan for destroying every single coconut on the island. His secret weapon is Grizzo, the trained gorilla, the hungriest coconut-eating beast in the whole wide universe. For 7 days, Grizzo has not been fed, and for 7 days, the starving gorilla has dreamed of nothing but his favorite food, coconuts. Thousands and thousands of luscious, sweet coconuts.
Come, Grizzo. Are you hungry, Grizzo? Good boy, Grizzo. Today you will eat every juicy coconut on 00 Island. Do you understand, Grizzo? Good boy. But first, we must make you invisible. Aha, good. Now, off you go. And remember, eat every coconut on the island, Grizzo.
The next morning, there was serious trouble on Bleep's island base. Poor Scratch had found only one coconut in the whole jungle. This meant an end to Bleep's rocket fuel discovery. And even worse, to Squeak and Scratch, it meant no more of those luscious coconut pies. With great care, Bleep drained each precious drop of milk from the last remaining coconut and quickly processed it into rocket fuel. With equal care, the puppet prepared their last coconut pie. But in a flash, the pie was gone, leaving a bewildered Scratch holding the empty plate. Sure that the caveman had greedily eaten the whole pie himself, the Colonel ordered Scratch to sit in the corner and not move until the clock chimes 2. While the obedient Scratch sat perfectly still, serving out his punishment, Bleep and Squeak were unaware that an invisible gorilla was the real thief. Then Grizzo struck again. Still, the caveman sat in motionless silence, faithfully following Bleep's unfortunate command. Now, all this activity had given Grizzo a powerful appetite.
and he sped off at once to Bleep's laboratory workshop, where he smelled the delicious aroma of coconut milk. At that very moment, Scratch's punishment ended, and the caveman arrived on the scene just in time to see the hungry Grizzle guzzle down jug after jug of Bleep's powerful, bubbling rocket fuel. Scratch blinked in awe. So this was the culprit that caused all the trouble. Silently, the caveman strikes back. Sending Grizzle and his explosive payload straight as a flaming arrow back to his wicked master. Yes, Scratch has saved the day. So, for faithful obedience and heroic service, Bleep promised him a reward. And what prize do you think the caveman chose? Why, a delicious coconut pie, of course. And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of
The killer whale! Far out in space, on an ocean-covered planet of Galaxy 9, lies the lily-pad kingdom of Aqualand. Here the friendly frogmen of this watery world dive deep to gather the gleaming giant pearls found only on Aqualand's ocean floor. But suddenly, an evil shadow looms into view. Sizzling Saturn! It's Colossal, the giant killer whale! The terrified divers flee for their very lives. With the monster's gaping jaws only inches away, Colossal is certain to catch them soon and win. An urgent SOS beams out from terror-stricken Aqualand, but can help arrive in time. Back on Earth, Colonel Bleep picks up the urgent call for help and flashes instructions to Squeak and Scratch in Cruiser 1. Attention, Cruiser 1. Monstrous killer whale threatens Aqualand. Pick up Moonlight Dive Bomber Squadron at Lunar Base 7. Launch all-out attack at once. Away they streak. Up ahead, the Moonlight pilots prepare their small but deadly diving craft inside the launching tube ring, and then await pickup by the cruiser. Stand by for pickup. 3, 2, 1. Contact. They're off to sink or swim in a fight to the finish with Colossal, dreaded terror of the deep. In only minutes, the cruiser arrives over the target on Aqualand. Away on scooters. Scramble. The Moonlight Squadron dives in for the attack. The monster is dead in their sight. Oh, no! Colossal has caught the dive bombers in his powerful claws. The Moonlights are down. It's up to Squeak and Scratch alone. Prepare for torpedo run. Ready, aim, fire! Torpedoes away! That should do it. The missiles are dead on target. But look! Colossal calmly deflects the torpedoes with his powerful tail. Will nothing stop this awful beast? Look out, fellas! Here comes Colossal
now at full speed. He's going to ram the cruiser. But Squeak and Scratch bravely refuse to retreat. They're going to try one last courageous plan. There goes the caveman. Like a human torpedo. It's a hit. Now the caveman holds open the jaws of the onrushing monster, while Squeak centers the cruiser directly above a huge pile of priceless pearls stacked on the ocean floor. Up through the intake tube, the pearls go. And out through the launching tube, straight into Colosso's gaping mouth. It's working! The weight of the heavy pearls is slowing the whale down. The killer is helpless now. He's sinking to the bottom. The battle is over. Hooray! The frogmen are saved. The Moonlight pilots rescued. Hooray! Squeak and Scratch have won. Hooray! All of which goes to prove that a little man with a lot of courage can often defeat an enemy as big as a whale.
And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of the Lunar Luger.
It's midnight on 00 Island. One by one, the lights in Scratch's cave, Squeak's cozy cottage, and Colonel Bleep's secret laboratory blink off for the night. Only the watchful eye of the powerful radar scope remains on guard. But on distant Pluto, far beyond the range of the radar scope, Dr. Destructo's fortress stronghold is aglow with eerie light. Inside, this crafty culprit gloats with glee as he tests his newly invented Lunar Luger. Destructo is sure his super weapon, with its forceful ray of condensed moon power, will prove more than a match for Bleep's mighty futomic energy.
At last, I have harnessed the power of the moon. Tomorrow, Bleep and his space deputies will die.
At dawn, 00 Island springs to life. Space deputies, fall in. Space deputies, man your craft. Space deputies, blast off. Once again, Squeak and Scratch are off on their morning space patrol. Little do they know, however, that at this very moment, the sinister saucer of the evil Destructo lurks in ambush, only minutes away. And look, this time, the villain is armed with his powerful Lunar Luger. Sizzling center! Bleep's deputies won't have a chance! Stop, fellas! Go back! This is no ordinary weapon! Stop! Stop! It's too late! The scooter is dead at Destructo's gun sight! Squeak and Scratch are trapped! Their space scooter is locked in space by moon
are now in my power, moon power. With one more blast, I shall guide your space scooter to smash it on the mountains of the moon far below.
Unknown to the villain, however, while he bragged of his super weapon, little Squeak had switched on the spaceophone, and Colonel Bleep heard every word.
You are in my power, moon power.
Moon power? Bleep speeds to the rescue. But is the Colonel's Futonic energy supply strong enough to free his helpless friends? Already Squeak and Scratch are plunging headlong towards certain death. Hurry, Bleep! Hurry! There they are. With careful aim, Bleep fires a mighty bolt of Futonic energy. He did it! He stops the fall! But Destructo's Lunar Luger barks again. Now Bleep replies. They're free! Futonic energy has won again! Hooray! But Colonel Bleep knows that war with Destructo must go on. Must go on until this master criminal and his deadly Lunar Luger are destroyed forever.
And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of
The Pirate Plot. For countless centuries, the moon of planet Earth was the happy home of the hard-working moon mites. Tiny lunar farmers who harvested crop after crop of tasty, tender moon mushrooms. Here the moon mites lived a very carefree life until one day the men of Earth, who knew nothing of the existence of the moon mites, shot a powerful atomic test missile straight for the moon. Moon mites faced sure destruction, but just in time. Colonel Bleep and his deputies streaked to the rescue. Quickly, the Colonel futomagized a stack of mushrooms. Then Deputy Squeak tossed the tiny moon mites aboard. And Deputy Scratch rocketed them off to safety. But now, the moon mites are without a home. So Colonel Bleep has been assigned to escort the little creatures to a place far beyond the reach of Earthmen's deadly rockets. Little does the Colonel know, however, that even greater danger lies ahead. For at this very moment, they're being watched by the evil eye of Black Patch, the terrible space pirate.
Shiver me timber, mateys. There's a swarm of flying moonlights dead ahead. Blimey, every one is worth a fortune as a slave in the red pepper mines of Pluto. After 'em, mateys. I'll be the richest pirate in the universe.
Great galaxies! Will Colonel Bleep discover this new threat in time? Can he save the moon mites from a life of slavery? Silently, the pirate galleon closes in. The evil pirate vacuum in hand, prepares to sweep up the unsuspecting victims from under the very nose of Colonel Bleep. This is terrible! Black Patch is cleaning up! Can nothing stop this awful plunder? Sizzling Saturn! Squeak and Scratch have been sucked into the trap too! They're all prisoners in the brig of the space galleon! Now the pirate speeds off for the Pluto pepper mine. At last, Bleep has discovered the treachery, but it's too late. Bleep can never catch them in time.
Advance, mateys! The pepper mines are dead ahead. Nor we'll swap our cargo of moonlight for their weight in glittering gold.
But the gleeful Black Patch is unaware the powerful Scratch has sprung open a porthole. One by one, the Moonlights leap out and are quickly picked up by Colonel Bleep, who is trailing the galleon. Just as the pirate ship arrives at the pepper mines, Scratch locks the porthole back in place, and now Squeak the puppet takes command. Black Patch and his bloodthirsty crew are prisoners in their own trap.
Now, see here, mateys. Have a heart. Old Black Patch was a meaning no harm. It was all a joke, just to spice up a pirate's dismal, dreary day. Honest, mateys. Okay, Black Patch. If it's spice you want,
Then try a dash of pepper. Good times, mateys. See you in space.
And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of the prehistoric present. The morning sun beamed down on the entrance of the cave home of Scratch, the world's only living caveman. Scratch, as you know, fell asleep several thousand years ago, and probably would have been sleeping yet. But the first atomic test explosion blew him right out of the past and into the present. And now, with his friends, Colonel Bleep and little Squeak, the caveman's life is filled with exciting adventures, wonderful adventures, like the time Scratch smelled smoke and saw a fiery glow inside his cave. He dashed inside to find Squeak with a giant birthday cake, all aglow with candles, just for Scratch. The happy caveman jumped for joy and made a very special wish when he blew out all the candles. And then Scratch felt sad, and big tears dripped from his eyes, for he felt sure that his birthday wish could never, ever possibly come true. For Scratch had wished to return once again to his prehistoric past, to play again with Dimples, his lovable pet dinosaur. Yes, Scratch missed Dimples very much, and now he would never see her again. But to Colonel Bleep, nothing seems impossible. And so the spaceman's birthday gift to Scratch was a golden key. The key to Scratch's wish come true, for this was the key that operated Colonel Bleep's Hypnotic Time Transformer. That fantastic invention which made it possible to transport anything or anybody anywhere in time or space. Quickly, the caveman hopped aboard, and Bleep adjusted the time controls to allow Scratch to visit for 1 hour with Dimples back thousands of years in the past. Squeak turned the golden key as Scratch waved farewell. Then the whole contraption suddenly vanished as it raced backwards, carrying the caveman through time. Then suddenly, there he was, back home again with Mama Scratch, Papa Scratch, and Dimples. Dear old Dimples, Scratch's pet dinosaur. Meanwhile, back in the present, Bleep and Squeak watched the dials and signals of the Hypnotic Time Transformer as the minutes ticked by. The hand of the clock was rapidly approaching the time for Scratch's scheduled return. There's the signal. Now Bleep throws the reverse control switch. But Scratch is having such a wonderful time, he forgets to climb aboard, and the machine returns empty. Quickly, the Colonel sends it racing back. And again it returns, but this time with Dimples. Now Bleep is worried, for only enough Hypnotic power remains in the machine for one more try. Scratch must come back this time, or he will be left forever in the past. Once again, Bleep throws the switch. And just in time, Scratch jumps aboard the Hypnotic transport, and now he's really on his way back. But wait, the power's beginning to fade, and the years are clicking off slower and slower, until finally, the machine stops dead, somewhere in the past century. Poor Scratch is stuck back in the 1800s. Now he'll never get back. But wait, what's that strange noise? And that, it's getting louder and louder, closer and closer. But what can it be? Why, it's Scratch, riding back from the 19th century in an early automobile, towing the rundown Hypnotic Time Transformer behind him. And so Scratch had a wonderful birthday. And now he's back with his friends again. You can just bet that no one else in the whole wide world ever got a pet dinosaur for a present. Yes, it's fun to dream about the past, but for real fun, there's no time like the present. And now, stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of the Treacherous Parrot. At last, it was finished. The beautiful necklace of pink seashells which Scratch had made for his dear old mother. Yes, this was Mama Scratch's birthday. And now, clutching his gleaming gift, the caveman hops aboard Bleep's Hypnotic time machine. It is this wonderful invention that will carry Scratch back through time and space to his boyhood home. The hatch closes. The power goes on. And away he goes. Back through the countless centuries he speeds to arrive in the time of the Stone Age. And there they are, Papa Scratch, just as handsome as ever, and Mama Scratch, looking even lovelier with her beautiful pink seashell necklace. They all spend a wonderful day together, but soon it is evening and Scratch speeds back once more to his friends on 00 Island. Unknown to the caveman, however, his every move has been carefully watched by Black Patch, the villainous one-eyed leader of the bloodthirsty space pirates. At last, Black Patch has learned the secret of Colonel Bleep's time machine, and now he has a plan to capture Colonel Bleep alive. And so, at the stroke of midnight, the hatch of the time machine closes again. Then, almost as quickly as it vanished, it returns, carrying not one passenger, but two. Bleep awoke with a start. There was trouble in the air. He could feel it. Then, sure enough, he found it.
To Colonel Bleep, surrender to me at the top of the moon, or Mama Scratch dies at the hour of noon. Black Patch.
Yes, it was true. Black Patch had kidnapped poor Mama Scratch, and only Bleep could save her. Without delay, the Colonel speeds off for the moon to willingly surrender his life in exchange for Mama Scratch's freedom. Minutes later, Squeak and Scratch also discovered the kidnapper's terrible note. But Scratch found something else the spaceman had missed. A trail of gleaming pink seashells. Seashells from Mama Scratch's birthday necklace. Somehow, Mama had managed to leave this clue for her faithful son to follow. And so, off they went in hot pursuit, tracking the seashell trail deep into the dense jungle. At that very moment, high on the moon, Bleep spotted the pirate band. Listening carefully, the Colonel learned this was a treacherous trap. The evil Black Patch had no intention of freeing Mama Scratch at all, even if Bleep does surrender. In fact, at this instant, Mama is back on 00 Island, staring into the muzzle of a powerful pirate cannon. At exactly noon, the scorching rays of the sun will ignite the cannon's fuse, and Mama's life will be lost in one blinding flash. Yes, at last Bleep knew the terrible truth. Back toward 00 Island he streaked. But was there still time? Good grief, it's already too late. The fuse of the cannon has burst into flame. But look up above. It's Squeak and Scratch. But what can they do? Only seconds remain. From high above, Bleep sees the whizzing cannonball streak straight for the top of the moon to land in the midst of the startled pirate gang. And so, Mama Scratch was saved. And you can bet she will never forget the day a birthday necklace of pink seashells and the courageous action of her boy and his friends saved her from a terrible fate. It was certainly true. No mother anywhere ever had a more wonderful son. Bye-bye, Mama. Give our love to Papa Scratch.
And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of
The Treacherous Trio! On a dark and lonely moon far out in space, three powerful villains of the underworld meet in secret session. Black Patch, the space pirate, the Black Knight of Pluto, and the sinister black robot have banded together in a fearsome alliance to plot the destruction of Colonel Bleep.
Hear me out, mateys. There's but one way to dispose of this here Colonel, and that's for pirate treachery.
Ho, 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 never!
Only my superior battle skills can conquer the spaceman from Futura.
Fools! Idiots! Only an ingenious mechanical brain like my own can outwit the clever Bleep. Avast, you blasted varmints! My scheme cannot fail! We attack at dawn! Hooray! Together we'll hoist the Jolly Roger over 00 Island! Hooray! Bleep and his deputies will be destroyed forever! Hooray!
At daybreak, a formation of 3 deadly space subs streaks through the universe. Reaching planet Earth, they dive headlong into the briny deep to arrive unseen beneath the blue lagoon of 00 Island, headquarters for Colonel Bleep. Patiently, the space pirate scans the island through his powerful periscope until at last,
Ahoy, mateys! There's little Squeak himself! Victim number 1! Help! Help! What's that? Help! Help!
why, it's Scratch stranded alone in the deepest part of the blue lagoon. In a flash, the puppet streaks to the aid of his helpless buddy. Stop, Squeak! It's a trap! That's not Scratch at all, only a dummy!
Aha!
It's too late. Squeak is the prisoner of the black robot.
Stand fast, you lubbers. Here's victim number 2.
Oh, no!
Help! Help!
This time the caveman is tricked by the same devilish scheme. Now Scratch is a prisoner of the Black Knight. Can nothing stop this terrible treachery?
Ahoy, Colonel Bleep! Surrender to me, or Squeak and Scratch die at the count of 3.
This is terrible. Bleep must surrender or Squeak and Scratch are done for.
1.
The Colonel is desperate for a plan. A powerful blast of photonic energy would dispose of the villains, but the lives of his space deputies would also be lost. Hell! Time is running out. Only one chance remains. A triple-powered reverse frequency supercharged bolt of frigid plutonium 505 might do the trick. But can Bleep generate enough super energy in time?
3.
He did it! Instantly, the entire lagoon is frozen into solid ice. Quickly, Bleep rescues his frozen deputies. Now the Colonel strikes again. A powerful blast of atomic energy melts the ice into a sea of boiling water. The culprits flee for their very lives. And in no time at all, Squeak and Scratch are thawed out just as good as new. Yes, Colonel Bleep had made it pretty hot for the 3 cold-blooded monsters of the Blue Lagoon.
And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of
The Wicked Web. Throughout the universe, many terrible space hazards endanger travel between the planets. Space bergs loom dangerously near the orbit of Pluto. Space storms rage outward from the fiery planet Thor. And swirling seas of liquid air infest Galaxy 9. But now Colonel Bleep has volunteered to survey these hazards one by one and record their exact position on a space map of the galaxies. At this very moment, the Flying Space Laboratory TravelLand is being prepared to blast off on this exciting survey mission.
Switch on power circuits. Roger. Activate blast-off generators. Roger. Set gyro governing dials. Roger. Stand by for countdown. 3, 2, 1, 0.
They're off. First stop, Pluto, to chart the position of the drifting Spaceberg belt. Ghostly graveyard of spaceships. As Bleep, Squeak, and Scratch near their destination, however, they're spotted by the Black Knight of Pluto. This wicked villain waits like an evil black shadow, watching each approaching spaceship, poised to pounce down like a hungry vulture should a ship accidentally collide with a giant spaceberg. Such helpless crash victims are the Black Knight's usual prey. This time, however, he is not content to wait for an accident. Oh, no! The Spaceship Travel Lab is too great a prize to leave to chance. Quickly, he streaks ahead to prepare a deadly ambush. At lightning speed, he flits from Spaceberg to Spaceberg, spinning a monstrous web of invisible, electromagnetized wire. There can be no escape from this ingenious trap. Now, set for the kill, the Black Knight, like a greedy spider, is ready to pounce upon his unsuspecting victims. Meanwhile, in the lab rocket, Bleep and his crew are busy at their space survey instruments. One by one, the deadly spacebergs are spotted by the Futamic radar scope, measured and weighed by the Futamic seismoscope, then photographed and charted by the Futamic plotoscope. Progress is slow, for the Colonel must guide the travel lab with great care through the death traps of the Spaceberg belt. On and on they go, never dreaming that even greater danger lies ahead. Now the Black Knight blinks with excitement. In only seconds, Bleep's giant rocket will be his helpless victim. Closer and closer it comes. But wait, what's that mysterious pattern on Bleep's radar screen? It's an image of the Black Knight's terrible web. For although invisible to the eye, the metallic wire is clearly outlined on Bleep's super-sensitive radar scope. Now the Colonel halts the ship and with careful aim sends a powerful bolt of Futamic energy surging through the exposed wire. The wicked villain is trapped. And so, thanks to the radar scope, our friends are saved, and the Black Knight is caught in his own trap. And best of all, Bleep's space map now shows a perfect travel lane right through the middle of the Spaceberg belt.
And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of
Tunnel in space.
The Wonder Rocket Travel Lab speeds through space past the red world of Mars and into the belt of asteroids, gateway to the giant planet Jupiter. Inside the spaceship, Bleep and his crew prepare to land. Cut off power circuits. Roger. Activate landing generators. Roger. Set gyro governing dials. Roger. 50 leagues from touchdown. 25 leagues. 10, 5, 3, 2, 1. Touchdown. They've arrived. Jupiter welcomes you. Step aboard, please. Squeak and Scratch gaze in wonder as they speed to Space Command headquarters. Jupiter City is the busiest spaceport in the solar system. Rockets depart regularly for every point in the galaxy. Every point except one. No spacecraft can safely navigate the flaming meteor belt surrounding Septa, Jupiter's seventh moon. And so Colonel Bleep has arrived to supervise the construction of a gigantic space tunnel which will span this hazardous area. Through this protective tube, spaceships will travel in safety. No longer will the deadly shower of flaming meteors be a menace to space travel. Work on the project begins immediately. Under the Colonel's careful supervision, an expert crew of Jupiter robot engineers assemble the framework of the tunnel sections. According to plan, the Travel Lab provides power to carry each section into proper position, while Squeak and Scratch guide its travel using their tiny space scooters like small pilot boats steering an ocean liner to port. At a given signal, release cable, the scooter pilots cut off their lines and dive for the safety of the tunnel for protection against the crashing meteors. Section after section is guided into place, each connecting to the other, until only one section remains. Carefully, the scooter cadets guide its course as the Travel Lab builds up power to slam the section into place. Space scooters, release cables. Scratch is free. Into the tube he dives. But little Squeak's cable is jammed. Again and again, the puppet pours on power, but the cable will not break loose. Bail out, Squeak! Quick, before it's too late! Run, fella, run! Here come the meteors! Poor Squeak hasn't a chance! But wait, what's that? Why, it's Scratch, and he's flying upside. Alley-oop, he's got him! But the caveman can't reach the controls in this position. They're headed deeper into the meteor shower. They've got to turn back, but how? Look, Squeak's pants are caught. Sizzling Saturn, will the puppet's elastic arm cords hold? They did! Back they catapult at tremendous speed, safely out of the meteor storm. And so, once again, Squeak and Scratch risk their very lives to help make interplanetary space travel safe throughout the universe.
And now stand by for adventure.
3, 2, 1.
In the exciting story of
War in Robotland. This is wonderful 00 Island. Colonel Bleep's great headquarters here on Earth. Now as twilight fades, the lights in Scratch's cave, Squeak's cozy cottage, and the Colonel's laboratory blink off for the night. Silently, the powerful radar scope scans the darkened skies, ready to signal the outbreak of trouble anywhere in space. There it is!
Red alert! Red alert! Scramble!
Colonel Bleep, Squeak, and Scratch are off again, for there is terrible trouble indeed on the distant planet Robotland. Here is a strange world of mechanical men, ruled by the master robot, Romax. From his closely guarded tower, Romax guides the movements of the robot workers below. In this giant factory, the mechanical men of Robotland skillfully build the great machines needed for the peaceful progress of the universe. But disguised as a friendly robot, the wicked Dr. Destructo has entered the guarded tower. He pulls the switch of the master machine, and instantly all work is stopped. Then, quickly, with a mysterious power of his own, the evil doctor starts the robots again, working faster than ever before. But now, instead of building machines for peace, the factories rapidly grind out a deadly fleet of powerful space tanks, which Destructo plans to use to conquer the universe. Arriving at last, Colonel Bleep quickly orders Squeak and Scratch to dash for cover on the ground below, while Bleep prepares to face Destructo's mighty armada alone. The power-mad doctor orders the attack. The mighty Colonel stands his ground. Now Destructo steps up the pace. A steady stream of the deadly robot weapons pours onto the firing line. Withstand such overwhelming odds. If only Squeak and Scratch could break through the solid steel tower walls and gain control of the master robot. Look, the cannon can still be fired. But what about ammunition? Oh no! Scratch has volunteered to be a human cannonball.
Ready, aim, fire!
Quickly, the caveman pulls the switch. And the mighty Romax once again resumes command of Robotland. Destructo's power is broken. Now the deadly stream of robot weapons zeroes in on the fleeing villain. And the wicked culprit scrambles for his very life. Yes, once again, Colonel Bleep and his friends have saved the people of space from sure destruction. And while the brave Scratch may sometimes act a little dumb, this was one day when the caveman really used his head.